Welcome, everybody. Pardon me. Okay, welcome to CommunityFIT, and in particular, another MoveLab class. I'm your teacher, James, and today is another one of those co-creation days. That's what this round of classes has been about. What do you need, and how can I support you in getting you to where you want to go? So yesterday in Stress Reset, we had a comment question at the end from Sam. So hopefully you're here, Sam. All about wrist health and wrist mobility. So we're going to blend in a bunch of hand, finger, wrist, arm stuff today, and then we're going to move forward. We are nearing the end of this section of classes. So if there's something you want me to cover, either stress related, nervous system wise, that's over in Stress Reset, or movement wise, something about a joint, something about a particular movement, soft tissue, spine, shoulders, feet, whatever it is, just drop it in the comment section and we'll try to do what we can for you, because this is not my class, this is your class. So let's go ahead and get started. As always, there's not a way you can mess today up. Today is all about how it is you want to move, because there's no wrong way to move. So just do with it what you can do it. Over in the comment section, I dropped the question of the day. What is currently bringing you joy or you are proud of? So the encouragement for today, the advocation, how we're going to center the practice is, what from the practices we're going to play with today brings you joy? And more so, how can you surprise yourself today? When there's something like, oh, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can sit like that. I don't think I can do that with my arms. This has been hard before. Can you just figure out a way to self-nourish, maybe going into some of the breathing or nervous system warm-ups, and figure out a way to surprise yourself and feel more successful at the end of class than you did at the beginning of class? So, as always, starting off, a little breathing, right into nervous system warm-up, right into movement for today. Let's go ahead and get started. So since we're working with hands today and arm stuff, let's do finger breathing. If you've been in class for a while, you know this one. Hold up your favorite hands. Take a look at it. The other hand is going to go at the base of the pinky, the outside base of the pinky. When you go up a finger, that's an inhale. When you go down, that's an exhale. We're going to just trace our hand breathing, and then we'll switch to the other side. So picking your favorite hand, other finger goes at the base there. There's an inhale as you go up. Exhale back down. Inhale. Other side when you're ready. When you're done, bring your hands together, get them warmed up. Place your nice warm hands onto the front of your throat. Just be there for a moment. Let your body just down-regulate, settle in, and dilate open to new experiences. Now you can stay there, or right hand, left throat, big heavy hand comes to center as I twist my face over here. Big heavy hand. Big heavy hand. Big heavy hand. From there, taking some hands, fingers, and just massaging the jaw a little bit, maybe down into the throat, maybe into the collarbones. If you recall from the beginning of MoveLab, or this bracket, arm integrity has everything to do, shoulder integrity has everything to do with collarbone. So waking up my collarbone. I'm being guided by my own experience here to sort of cup my hand, just kind of cup the shoulder. It feels like it needs more than the little finger thing today. Maybe yours is different. Other side. Good. Just some shoulder rolls there. Then we're going to let our head just drop, like a big, heavy pendulum, bowling ball drop. Then I'm going to let it swing, swing. So I'm not really doing a stretchy thing here, not holding it. We're going to get there. So right now, just a swing. Often when we're thinking wrists, we're thinking all the way down in the hands, but it starts way up here first. Then I'm going to swing, and I'm going to look over my shoulder. Swing and look. Swing and look. I can get my arms involved and increase that rotation. One more to each side. And then up tall. Take your left arm and reach it, not necessarily directly to the left, but kind of down and to the left, maybe floorboard direction. I'm reaching that, and I'm going to take my right ear over to my right shoulder. So I'm reaching, and I'm reaching in this direction. I'm going to keep that reach going, and I'm going to twist to look down, and then twist to look up. Twist to look down. I'm not passive. This arm is actively reaching. Twist to look up. One more down. One more up. I look forward. I don't lift my head. My arm pulls my head up, and I just do like a little seaweed spine action. Then I'm going to try the other side. I'm going to reach, and I'm not going all the way out. It's down and out. Here goes over. Down and up. Down and up. One more down. One more up. Forward. I'm not going to lift my head. My arm pulls me up, and I go into a seaweed spine. From there, I pull my shoulder blades together, and then I just relax them wide. Now, I go beyond relaxing them wide, and I'll even kind of turn to the side here. If my shoulder blades get further away, it rounds my upper back. Then I come up tall, neutral shoulder blades, pull my shoulder blades together. The more they pull together, the more I go into the shape of the cow or some extension. Relax. They go away. It rounds me. Now, this is very different than just doing a seated cat-cow, because that's more spine. This is, what am I asking my shoulder blades to do, and how does that influence the rest of my body? Which is different than just make a shape. Like just make a shape is your average movement class. This is MoveLab. This is an element of, how does part A connect to part B to get to C? Shoulder blades together. Relax, shoulder blades wide. One more of each. Then pick a shoulder blade. I'm going to pick my left since that's the one you're looking at. My left shoulder blade is going to pull up to my ear, to my spine, down and around. Now I can think of it just like kind of like a circular shape or just a movement shape, or that particular shoulder blade, that scapula is resting on some ribs. And I can think of my ribs like a chalkboard or a whiteboard, and my scapula, my shoulder blade is erasing whatever I've written. So I can kind of go up and down and over. And you'll notice it moves my ribs and my spine. I'm not doing just funny, flagrant shapes. It's the movement. In order to move my shoulder blade to where I want it to go, other things have to move. I hate the idea of like scapular stability or only pick one thing. Your body is a continuum. Let it move. Just getting some movement in there. Then for a moment, pause and just notice any similarities or differences between your right and your left side, the side you have moved and the one you haven't. Then same process over here. You can either, if you're someone who needs that container, I make a circle with my shoulders, do that. If you're like me and you're like, I just want it to move, then it's like it just begins to clean, move, and how many different places can I get it to go to? Neither one's right. It's just where do you want to go today? From there, you're going to pick one arm up, hold. Opposite hand goes on that collarbone. Now, from there, imagine your collarbone, feel your collarbone underneath that hand, lift up to lift that arm higher. Then that collarbone sinks to take that arm up. I lift and lift. In order to do that, remember, something's got to go down for something else to go up. So I'm pushing down through my butt cheeks, through my sits bones, through my body. And then again. Other side. Shoulder or collarbone comes down first. Arm goes up first, then collarbone. Again. And relax. From there, just pick your hands up, make some fists with your hands. And it's like you're making, I can kind of even just do one at a time. It's like I'm circulating through my elbow. It's like windmills, just kind of moving through there. Now I can move my arms back or forward. I can reverse that. And forward again. I can take and go through my whole entire shoulder girdle. Now, my left shoulder is inclined to do like a glitchy thing. It wants to go like pop, pop and move. So as I do that, I'm not now thinking like making circles. I'm thinking collarbone up, wide and down. Collarbone up, wide and down. Reverse. Remember, there's going to be some spinal movement if you're really getting into those bigger ranges of motion. One more. Then bring your hands together, clasp them tight, and make a little fishy, wavy, circular thing. And then reverse. From there, pause, push the palms away from you, bring it back in. Keep the palms facing you and reach. Palms face away from you and reach. Palms face toward you. Reach, reach. Then palms face the ground. Oh, hard. Palms face the ceiling. Hard. Palms face the ground to the best of your ability today. Into the ceiling, to the ground, to the ceiling. Now, palms can face any which way. This is like combining that elbow circle and a hand hold. So I'm just thinking moving through my elbows. Reverse. And reverse again. And reverse. Then it's like a little wave action. And then reverse that. Holding out your hands, going through sort of a flamenco hand. It's like my pinkies. My hands get very, very, very expressive here. Right now, we're not paying attention to anything else. You can see there's movement in the shoulder, movement in the elbows. We're just thinking maximum amount of movement. Maybe I can reach away and pull it in, reach away and pull it in. And I can reverse. Maybe my flamenco hands go out to their sides. Maybe they go up and they reverse. Now, in contrast, I'm going to shift the way I'm sitting for you. Keep your elbows in tight and go through flamenco hands, keeping your elbows as tight into your body as you can. How expressive. Feels real different. Reverse. Then, this is a big one, especially for tech workers or anyone who's computing a lot, or even cell phone usage. We tend to have an exaggerated concentration and exaggerated contraction on this flexion side of our forearm here and the palm of our hand. Like if you just rest your hand, most of our hands kind of curl in. And we really need, even for grip strength, especially for wrist integrity, you need some muscle on the top of your hand, on the extension side of your hand. So one of the easiest exercises, especially if you have like carpal tunnel or just carpal issues, wrist issues, finger flicks. This is different than the shaking we do. This is like a flicking off water. There's intent. It's like open my hand, open my hand, open my hand. And I want to hear it. I want to hear that like flick. Go out, up, down, this way. Really exercising that top of my hand. They're already tired. And then I can just shake it out. This, when you're shaking this out now, instead of like nervous system shake, think like wobbly, jello-y hand. Like I just want it to be as limp and as relaxed as I can get. Now, here's what I have found from my myofascial work. So very specialized massage with people. Your forearm is composed of two bones that are really interesting because here, the bones are kind of side by side and kind of bowed out. But when I go down, those bones that are here flip over each other. So they kind of change orientation as you move. They need to rotate and glide around each other. And for so many of us, that it just gets stuck there. So I'm going to give you a self-massage technique to do. Pick your favorite arm and just lay it on a knee, on a chair, on whatever you got. Your other, and if this bothers your thumb, then you can use a ball, you can use a massage tool, you can use your knuckles to kind of get in through here. But remember here, those bones are side by side and there's like a hollowness on the inside there. So I'm just going to imagine I'm massaging between, for you, you can go here. I'm going to go here so that you can see better. You can kind of get in between those. Then I can take these fingers and underneath, sort of getting that. It's like I'm, imagine your forearm is like a needle, and the head of the needle, there's that space in there, and I'm trying to get my fingers through both sides of the eye of the needle. You can see if I just relax, as I press here, you're gonna notice this hand, I'm not making my hand do this. This is how these muscles activate. Then I can do the opposite, and you'll see that this hand kind of flex or extends open like this. It's subtle versus this. So all of that hand and wrist stuff is connected all the way up. Then when I flip it over, this area right here becomes really important. You can kind of get in here. It's like the outside of your elbow onto the top thumb aspect of your forearm. You're just going to massage in there. Guaranteed someone right now or someone's in the audience, you can comment, is like, whoa, that's really tender or really important feeling right now. This area right here usually gets kind of stuck here because we're doing all of this and all of this. So that gets stuck. And what we're doing is we're just going in and rehydrating or manipulating, massaging, tenderizing that area. Then you can come over here and do the same. Now you can start wherever you'd like. You can get in here and do that little massage in there. I can get the underside here, or the top of my forearm. I can flip it over and get right. Remember, it's flip, and it's that outside of the elbow in through there. And then just kind of shake it out. Now, if I wasn't teaching a class, that massage thing would go much longer. I'd probably spend between 3 and 7 minutes on each arm, getting that tissue to kind of move. Another nice thing you can do, especially as wrists get more, as your wrist gets more and more sensitive, this is just a really innervated, smart portion of your body. So anything wrong in that area is going to register with more alarms than what's necessary, meaning it's going to feel a lot worse than what it like physiologically is, because there's lots and lots of important tactile stuff going on here. So one nice thing you can do is take one hand, grab a hold of the wrist. So kind of like where you'd hold on to someone for strength, not right in the wrist, right below the wrist, really, really tight. Then this hand is just going to twist and turn. And then you can move up the arm a little bit. It's like you're taking that connective tissue, you're taking the packing material, the muscle, the fascia, the ligaments, the tendons, all of that soft tissue, and just moving it around itself. Then I can do the same thing over here. Now, before we get into some of the weight-bearing hand wrist exercises, let's work with our fingers in particular. So I'm going to hold my hand. If I was holding like plates or a platter this direction, I just flip it down this way. So it's like really level or parallel to the floor, forearms and hands. Holding there, I'm going to take and just make circles with my thumbs. Now, don't watch me do this, because I'm like looking here, looking here, looking here. So it's not going to be as, I don't want to role model this for you. I want you to just kind of play with making circles, and can you keep things flat? And then reverse that circle. You'll notice, like for me, this right arm just kind of wants to go here a little bit. So I'm just monitoring that things stay where they're at. I'm just moving now. Do I have the finesse to just move through that thumb? Then index finger. And reverse. Now, if it's too hard to do both hands at one time, you can do one. I'm not going to do that here because it's going to take forever. We're going to eat up the remainder of our time. Then I get right into middle finger. Middle and ring fingers are hard because they're connected through ligaments. So make it smaller and then reverse. This is a finesse exercise. And then, ooh, so hard. Ring finger. For me, I'm finding it easiest in the ring fingers to like not even look, to just sort of go into my internal landscape and figure out where that ring finger is. And then pinkies. And reverse. Then shake it all out. From there, let's have you go onto hands and knees here, because this is where most of that wrist stuff kind of shows up or symptomizes. Now, you're going to notice I'm just here. You can always kind of double up your mat and have your fingers below your wrist here. It decreases that angle. Instead of being a flat thing, it kind of goes to this, which doesn't require as much flexibility, but still works. You can also have like rolled up towels, or they have plenty of props you can buy these days. If you just go into Amazon and go and look under like wrist supports for yoga or wrist supports for planks, there's plenty of props that sort of wedge in there. The big thing is, and I'll kind of turn this way, here's where I notice people going the most wrong in downward facing dogs, push-ups, planks, hands and knees positions, is the angle. If you kind of look, I'll even come a little bit closer here. If you look at your thumb, most of us have, I'll get it to where you can kind of see it better. Most of us, what I'm looking at is this angle. Most of us from computing and mostly from texting and holding on to things, we have minimized this angle. This thumb kind of sits close versus this. Look how it's like a 90-degree angle there, because that thumb has multiple joints. I have that joint and I have this joint. So it's like a palmar joint and a finger joint. We tend to use from texting that palm side joint quite a bit, so it kind of holds everything in. So to just kind of work to open that up, because when we get into hands and knees position or planks or anything like that, the wider this thumb gets, the more the other fingers come towards it, and that pinky finger is more or less forward, the more support your arms naturally have, pushing down through the fingertips here. Now, this is an earned position. You're going to have to work for it because, again, your lifestyle is probably, most of us, it's like the thumb is narrow, we're weighted on the outside of the pinky, and the fingers aren't doing anything. Or the pinkies are holding on for dear life, like out to the sides. When really the fingers should be reaching mostly toward each other and almost gripping the floor. So just an alignment thing to be in consideration of. And then I'm going to gently push down through my fingertips. I'm going to weight shift forward and weight shift backwards. This is a standard MoveLab experience here, but now with more knowledge on your part. As you go forward and back, we are in consideration. What is my collarbone doing? How about my shoulder blades? Can I be wider? For me, I'm having a very hard time today connecting to the left hand. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move my left leg out to the left and weight shift over to it. Now, as I go forward and back, my left hand understands it has some work to do here. You may need to do that on the right. You don't have to be symmetrical. It's how do I wake up my body? And I'm just moving forward and back. Then I can take and have my fingertips away from each other. Forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. Now, you can do one or both, but what happens if I make my hand look backwards here? Thumbs are wide, pinkies are narrow. Back and forth. Back and forth. Back and forth. If you're like, can't do that, James, this is an earned position. You got to work at this, repetitions. And then release. From there, I only do this one at a time. I'm going to go back of my hand down and kind of shift weight backwards. I'm pushing down with my fingernails, all 5 of them. And then I can do other side. And then shake it out. I'm going to move the mat for this next one. I really like teaching this one on a wall, more so than even on the floor. On the wall, you would stand and you would put, if this is the wall, I'm going to put my fingertips down, and I call this one spider hand. So it's like you're creating a little spider with your hand, right? In fact, I'll do it with this one so you can see with the tattoo maybe a little bit better. So I've got my fingertips down on the floor, and now I'm going to just start to move around that spider without moving where the spider is. And I can sit and move. I can figure out how to go underneath it and back around. And then I can do the other side as well. Give that one a go on the wall. Standing on the up against the wall, spider on the wall, moving around without moving where the spider is. So, Sam, hopefully this helps you. This helps all of the other people who I know have risk things that are inhibiting their practice. It doesn't start down here. It starts up here, moves through the body, and is an earned right. Repetition, repetition, repetition. So put your hands on your heart. Feel your hands. Feel how they're connected into your lungs. Take an inhale from your lungs into your hand. Tell yourself thank you for showing up today. Take a look around your space. You literally could not have done most of this without your floor, without your wall space. Tell your space thank you, and most importantly, thank you for inviting us into your community, and thank you for being here with us. So I'll see you tomorrow for Stress Reset. Bye, everybody.
Hey, thank you, James.
Welcome.
Great. I have issues with my right wrist for some reason, so that is helpful. So yeah, getting a lot of comments about that. Awesome. Well, it's good to see everybody today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Of course, we missed Bob Ross, but we'll see him soon.
You will. You will. He's at home. I'm getting pictures today of how good he's sitting and how good he's playing at home today. So he's having a good day, unlike the other day.
Are we going to start getting exercises, or I'm sorry, are we going to start getting movements that kind of look like how a dog plays?
You are, well, I'm thinking, so my sister was in Stress Reset yesterday, and she goes, what if we just have lunchtime with Bobby, like on Wednesdays? So I'm going to talk to you, Alicia. Maybe Bob just needs his own class.
Maybe he does. Maybe he does. That definitely would be fun. Awesome. Andrea wants that for sure.
Right. Yeah, lunchtimes with Bobby.
Lunchtimes with Bobby. All right, you guys, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow for a Stress Reset. And
we have 1 week left after this, everybody.
No, we have 2.
Oh, we do. Why do I keep thinking it's only 1? Okay.
No, maybe you're right. What is today?
I think it is just 1. I think, aren't we done?
Oh my goodness, you're right. I'm so sorry. I just looked at the calendar. I've been telling everyone too, so thank you for that. 1 week left, and we are going to get those YouTube.
Alicia and I have no idea what we're doing. We just sort of go through life just showing up to things.
Just show up. Yeah, we will have your YouTube links up before class ends. We have a question. Yes, Raymond, what's the question?
We have a question. Can you do some work on the sacrum area? Lots of pain along with the hips. Yeah, certainly. We can do, yes, I will try my best. Here's what I will say with sacrum area, because it's a very difficult area to work with without props. Because when we talk about sacrum, where people are normally symptomizing pain in the sacrum area is either at the coccyx, the tailbone, which has a lot to do with pelvic floor stuff, or where the sacrum and the ilium meet. So that's your SI joint. And we just use the word SI joint like all the time without really paying attention to the last word within that. SI, sacral iliac joint. So there is like 4 centimeters of movement in there, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot. And so the best way to work with sacrum stuff is lying on your back with like a softball sized small ball underneath the sacrum so that it kind of pushes up and moves there. We'll kind of play around with that. We'll use the mat and kind of roll it up. I try to in this class stay away from props because not everyone has the props at home, but we'll give it a go.
Cool. Yeah, I could definitely use that too. You know, I've got a lot of hip issues. So awesome. Thank you, Raymond, for pointing that out. And it looked like there was another question that popped up and she was just agreeing with, yeah, she would like some sacrum sciatica.
Yeah, cool.
stuff.
Yeah, and then Sam just said, thanks for the wrist exercise. It wasn't comfortable at the beginning, but it's a start and it should get better. You're right. Like I said, it's just about your body has, our bodies morph into, they literally become the shapes and the actions we routinely ask of them. So if all we've ever asked our body is to do like texting and computing and gripping and holding, and then like every once in a while asking it to be in a plank, your body doesn't understand it yet. I think of it as like an Excel spreadsheet. If you have rows and columns, your life with most of our routine stuff is like zeros all along. And now you've come in and you've put an X. And so next time you go into that action, your body's like, huh, historically we've done 0 or O's. Now we have an X. Which one do we do? The more you do it, the more the body's like, oh, maybe now this person wants to do X instead of O. So it's about repetition, repetition, repetition.
So I just copy and pasted a testimonial from one of our participants who's been with us for a long time, Kim. I think Kim's been with us for over a year now. So she's saying that, yeah, just doing it over and over. Now she's not having any pain and she can do all the things. So yay, Kim.
Hey,
So
Alicia, will you copy that testimonial too? That feels like something we can use in marketing. If you don't mind, Kim, we'd really appreciate it.
Definitely. I will do that. All right, everybody.
Cool.
Have a fabulous day and we'll see you tomorrow.
Well, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.